solo un juego.
Number 2, the captain, Number 3, Andrew Guadalupe. Number 7, Johan Robson. Number 9.
It is time for Group D action to commence here in the 2023 Concacaf Gold Cup from BMO Field in Toronto, Ontario, as Canada takes on Guadeloupe in front of a home crowd for the Canadians, fresh off of a final appearance in the Concacaf Nations League final just under 2 weeks ago. It is a wet, chilly night here in Toronto, Ontario. Happy to be with you, Joe Malfa, for the call. And Canada's hoping to build upon what has been a strong recent stretch of play for them in CONCACAF and on the global scale after making it to the 2022 World Cup. But it won't be easy tonight against the Guadeloupe side coming in off the momentum of two decisive victories in the Gold Cup preliminary round. Just a reminder of the teams here in Group D, with Cuba and Guatemala being the other two who will play tonight a lot further south than we are here. That action taking place in South Florida at Dry Pink Stadium. We'll keep you updated on some of the happenings there. But the focus, of course, right here on Canada and Guadeloupe. Their third meeting all time. Series is tied 1-1, and both of those meetings came in Gold Cup competition. They met in the group stage in 2007 and 2011. Guadeloupe won the initial meeting between these nations, and Canada won in 2011. Canadians come in ranked 47th in CONCACAF, 47th in the world and 4th in CONCACAF, and Guadeloupe not eligible for the FIFA World Rankings, but 19th in CONCACAF. It's their 5th Gold Cup appearance, 2nd in a row. For Canada, it's a 15th Gold Cup appearance, their 12th in a row. Guadeloupe have been to the semifinals back in their first ever appearance in 2007. Canada, they lifted the trophy back in 2000, but they haven't made it back there since. They've made 3 semifinals, including the last time out in 2021. So we'll see if they can build upon that and have some more success this time around. Their campaign kicks off at home here in Toronto against Guadeloupe in just a moment. Anthems and kick are coming up from BMO Field.
Embrace, let's go. Allez, go, voilà 11 les gars aujourd'hui. Brotherhood grows tonight, let's go. We're all good here.
Look like a professional. You try to kill me in the beginning.
Let's go. Let's go. Brotherhood's another level tonight, let's go.
Ready? Come on, boys, come on.
Let's go.
Give it everything, Junior. Leave it all out there, son.
Fans, please rise if you're able for the playing of the national anthem of Guadeloupe.
Sun just barely peeking through the stadium now after it had been pouring before the start of this one. Perhaps the weather breaking just in time for kickoff here. Anthems are completed, and these teams are ready to go. We'll meet the starting 11 now for both of these nations, and we'll begin with the host side. Canada, Milan Borjan will earn his 76th cap in goal. He's been the guy for over a decade now for Canada. On the back line, some familiar faces from the World Cup and from Nations League, led by Kamal Miller. In the midfield, Jonathan Osorio leads a young group with Richie Larea because there's a couple of debutants in there. One to get you is Ali Ahmed from that midfield, and then two of the old guard up top, and Lucas Cavallini and Junior Hoylett. There's 32 goals for Canada combined between Cavallini and Hoylett. See if they can get going here again in the Gold Cup, where they each have 5 goals in Gold Cup competition. Officials for the match are led by Rubio Vasquez of the United States with Corey Parker and Kyle Atkins. Kaylor Herrera of Costa Rica is your 4th official, and in the VAR room, the happenings are led by Jorge Perez and Eric Miranda. We'll see if that comes into play throughout the evening. Canada hoping to win their opening match in the Gold Cup for the 4th tournament in a row, but it won't be easy against the Guadeloupe side that has a lot of talent that plays both at home and abroad in Guadeloupe and in France. On that back line, Manny Lina anchors things. It's his 21st cap that he earns tonight, but the creative man in the midfield is Matthias Feiton. He has 6 goals and just 16 caps, and Thierry Ambrose of KV Oostende in Belgium leads the way atop the lines. He is just a year and a half into his career with Guadeloupe after debuting in March of 2022. He has 4 goals in his 10 appearances. It's Guadeloupe with nothing to lose tonight. On paper, fans around the world tuning in for this Gold Cup don't necessarily expect them to come in and get a result on Canadian soil against one of the top-ranked teams in Concacaf. Their team riding the momentum of 2 resounding victories in the preliminary round with a lot more talent, I think, than people realize in their starting 11. Basically, their entire front 6 in the attacking side play in Europe, whether it's France, Belgium, or Switzerland. Only one player in the starting 11 for Guadeloupe is actually based now in Guadeloupe, as they've really turned over the roster entirely over the last couple of years. For Canada, a couple of debutants, Moise Bombito, Zach McGraw, Ali Ahmed, some new faces mixed in with some of the old guard. Canada from left to right in the black, Guadeloupe right to left in the red. We are ready for Group D action finally. After 3 days sitting back watching Groups A, B, and C get things going, it is time for Canada and Guadeloupe to kick off Group D here in the 2023 Concacaf Gold Cup. Happy to have you along tonight from BMO Field in Toronto, Ontario. Joe Malfa with you for the action. And Guadeloupe gives it up immediately to Canada. Jonathan Osorio touches it back to Kamal Miller. Mixed and matched roster for Canada. The guys who were at the World Cup and in the Nations League final a couple of weeks ago. Plenty of new faces sprinkled in. And not just new faces who might be part of the quote-unquote B team who get the look here in the Gold Cup. New faces entirely with those 3 debutants and a slew more who could come in off the bench and debut. Try to go quick off the free kick. Cleared away by Davy Uruyar in goal. Here's Feiton. When they attack, they do so with some venom. Guadeloupe 5-0 victory over Antigua and Barbuda in their first preliminary game. They came in South Florida last week. And they beat Guyana 2-0 to get into the tournament proper. Had to have felt good beating Antigua and Barbuda the way they did. Guadeloupe really strong in the last edition of Nations League. Had 3 wins, 3 losses, but even in the losses, you could see the quality they brought to the table. 2 of those 3 losses in their group came at the hands of Antigua and Barbuda. So to have beaten them 5-0 in the Gold Cup prelim, had to have avenged some of the bad feelings they had from the way Nations League ended for them. Jocelyn Angloma looking on, the head coach for Guadeloupe. He's guided this team into this tournament, where they're now in the group stage for the 2nd tournament in a row after a decades-long hiatus from the Gold Cup. Free kick on the way as Jordan Leborgne is down holding his left ankle. 27-year-old plays with Versailles in France. This is just his 5th cap tonight. Leborgne in this midfield debuted in a friendly back in March of 2022. Was never a part of the Nations League roster. So he went a year and a half between caps before he started both of the Gold Cup prelims. Crashed into by Steven Vittoria, another member of that Canadian Old Guard. 36-year-old earning his 42nd cap tonight, played every minute at the World Cup. Leborgne still struggling on the ground. Looks like he's finally fit to continue. 21 appearances, 15 starts, a goal, and an assist for Leborgne this past year in the 3rd division of France. Good hustle on the left side by Liam Millar. Osorio. Here's Zach McGraw, Portland Timbers man in MLS, making his Canadian debut. Into the midfield for Ali Ahmed, another one of those debutants. Played through to Larea. Intercepted by Cedric Avinel. Osorio wants to give and go, gets the return ball, and gives it up. Forced back into the area of Osorio. Guadalupe wanted the offside flag. Millar flashes it inside. Medellina got his head to it. Canadian team that, of course, would love to start strong in front of this home crowd. But they cannot take Guadeloupe for granted just because they are ranked lower and came through the prelims. Ask El Salvador if they might have taken Martinique a bit lightly yesterday. Martinique took that one 2-1. Phaeton dispossessed. Here's Cavallini. Just any time Guadeloupe gets the ball, there's a handful of black jerseys swarming to win it right back for Canada. Here 5 minutes in, the Canadians threatening. Larea. And he commits the foul. Anthony Baron down. 30-year-old plays in Switzerland. It's his 2nd Gold Cup, started and played every minute of their 3 matches last time around. It's a difficult edition of the Gold Cup in 2021 for Guadeloupe in terms of the end result, and the record of the performances spoke volumes about the quality. They lost all 3. First one decisively against Costa Rica 3-1, but the next 2 came against Jamaica and Suriname, games that were tied until very late. It took an 87th minute winner from Jamaica to take down Guadeloupe 2-1, and an 80th minute winner from Suriname. Some contact edge of the area. It's a free kick, not a penalty. It was right on that line. Leborgne draws the foul, and it's a free kick for Guadeloupe. Moise Bombito in his Canadian debut, a bit over-eager defending from behind. What's the decision here for Guadeloupe? Who is the player who pulls the trigger? Gravillon and Phaeton standing over it. Andrew Gravillon, according to the global website Transfer Market, is the highest valued player in this lineup for Guadeloupe. He plays with Torino in Italy. He's valued at $4.3 million. Still on the books at Stade de Reims in France. Was on loan to Torino, where he stays still. Gravillon looks keen to take this one. It is Gravillon right into the hands of Bourrion. It stayed true the whole way. First shot on target of the match belongs to Guadalupe. Did well to get it over the wall, but keep it down. Fortunately for him, right at the keeper. Look at that foray forward for Guadalupe. Give them the confidence to sustain some of this pressure going forward after Canada pinned them in for 5 minutes to begin the match. Back for Lena. Again, Manny Lena, the lone player in this starting 11 for Guadalupe, who is based in Guadeloupe. 36-year-old has 21 caps now for Guadalupe as he sends it forward. Debuted back in 2008 in September in a friendly against Martinique. He had a 4-year gap between caps, 2010 to 2014, and until he was called in for a friendly last March, that's March of 2022, he had an 8-year gap away from Guadalupe. And ever since he returned to the fray, Manny Lena, the center back in March of 2022, he has hardly missed a match for his nation as he goes to gather this one again. Miller. Osorio flicks on, and Lena sends it skyward. Might collect some raindrops on the way down as the clouds have covered the sun once again, and the rain has begun to fall once again here in Toronto. Zach McGraw along for Ali Ahmed. 22-year-old Vancouver Whitecaps man gets it ahead now to Cavallini. Millar crashing back post. Davy Rouillard prevented it from getting through to Millar. Here's Ambrose. Thierry Ambrose feeds it out wide for Jordan Tell. 26-year-old plays in France, Jordan Tell. Continues to carry, gets it to Ambrose. Thierry Ambrose now along for Gravillon, who had that free kick moments ago. This one blocked. Cavallini taken down by Cedric Avinel. 10 minutes gone here at BMO Field in Toronto, Ontario. Still scoreless between Canada and Guadeloupe. First match of Group D for both of these teams. More Group D action coming later tonight. 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff scheduled between Cuba and Guatemala. And we return to Group A. Lorea overlap to Ahmed, forced end line, able to center it still. Osorio, step too slow in getting there. Gravillon feeds it out to Matthias Feiton. And Kamal Miller recycles to Liam Millar. Miller, Osorio, back again for the Inter Miami man. One of the top defenders in MLS, Kamal Miller. Then Lena threads it forward to Jordan Tell. Steven Vittori is there for Canada on the ball once more. Over 10 minutes into this one, possession 62-38 in Canada's favor. Miller keeps it in. Looks ahead for Junior Hoylett. Haven't called his name much, brings it end line, looking inside for the darting Ali Ahmed. And it's a corner on the way for Canada. corner of the match. Moylette positions it. Wearing the number 10 for Canada. 33-year-old plays at Reading FC in the English Championship. In swinger, top of the 6, it's loose in the middle. Cavallini had a chance at it, steered it wide. Just a cluster of players around the penalty spot breaking free, and Cavallini just surprised by it in the end as it broke its way through. 30-year-old just moved to Tijuana in Liga MX at the beginning of February. Prior to that, Cavallini was a mainstay in Vancouver with the Whitecaps in MLS. Had 9 goals last season for Vancouver before the move to Mexico. Considered him well so far. In the later stages of the Liga MX season, had 2 goals, 2 assists. Now it's Millar looking for Cavallini again, was bursting through. Millar quickly gets it into Osorio. Millar, good service. Cavallini was there. All of a sudden, Canada once again flipping the switch on the prowl, looking for that opening goal. Davy Ruyar, goalkeeper for Guadalupe, earning his 6th cap. Through the Nations League, we weren't quite sure who would be decided as the #1 keeper for Jocelyn Angloma's side. 6 matches in Nations League were split 3 apiece between Davy Ruyar and second-choice goalkeeper Bryce Cognard. Well, we got our answer, at least for now, as to who that #1 keeper is, after Ruyar started both of the preliminary matches to get into this group stage, and now gets to start again tonight. Kept clean sheets in both of those prelims, again 5-0 against Antigua and Barbuda, and then 2-0 against Guyana. Switched out toward Millar. Mikhail Alphonse, the captain, there to defend. Millar's service toward the back post, and it's plucked out of the air by Ruyar. Tries to spring a quick attack with the rollout to Matthias Feiton. Feiton, great ball ahead, flag stays down. Here's Thierry Ambrose, saved by Borjan, rebound headed wide. On the counter, Guadalupe with terrific opportunity to find the opening goal, and it wasn't just 1, it was 2. The initial shot from Ambrose, and then the header on the rebound. Borjan got the right hand to it, and then Ambrose just steered it wide. Difficult from that angle, scrambling for the header to get it on frame, but still an open goal he should have hit in the end. He'll remember that one if he doesn't get another opportunity like that tonight. 4 starts, 3 goals throughout the Nations League group phase for Thierry Ambrose. Joined KV Oostende in Belgium's top flight in 2021. Now he's been with them 2 seasons, Ambrose. 13 goals, 6 assists, and 60 appearances in the Belgian top flight. Came up through Manchester City's academy. Never made an appearance for the club. Always out on loan a couple of times within France, Belgium, or the Netherlands. What a bright young talent who is wreaking havoc in the Belgian top flight. He's 26 years of age. Now a handful for Canada to deal with in the Gold Cup. We look back over the last decade, some of the top teams in Concacaf, when you saw Guadeloupe, Martinique, or teams like that on the schedule, you smile. Not anymore, but it's Larea bringing it through. And a delayed offside flag. Seemed like he was a couple of yards, but assistant referee did the right thing. You could lump a number of other nations into that group as well. The likes of Guadeloupe, Martinique, Curacao. Nations that really took it to another level once the idea of dual nationals became more prominent. So many of these players for Guadeloupe, or whether it was yesterday for Martinique in their victory over El Salvador. Look out, Millar comes shot out of a cannon to take it away from Alphonse. They have just bolstered the talent of these teams, and it's no longer an easy pushover for the top nations in Concacaf when you see these teams pop up in your group phase. Some of them maybe still lack the depth per se, but again, just up and down this starting lineup for Guadeloupe tonight. Players in the top flights of France, Italy, Switzerland, Belgium. Only one player based in Guadeloupe, being their legendary center back, Medellina. Given away again to Ambrose, and a stumble from Miller leaves Jordan Tell in some space. Tell would have done better in the end on the service. Flipped over the top, nobody making the run, and Borjan has it. A stellar record for Borjan. He's wearing Canada's colors, 76th cap. Now 12 years he's been the guy. 35 clean sheets in 75 appearances entering tonight. This is his 5th Gold Cup in goal for Canada. His first was a dozen years ago in 2011. Osorio. Ahmed. Still very green in his professional career, Ali Ahmed. Larea wanted to go quick on the free kick, but the whistle was blown by the referee Rubiel Vasquez to have a chat with Anthony Baron. Ali Ahmed again making his debut, number 20, middle of your screen for Canada. Only 9 appearances, 5 starts so far this season in MLS, with a goal and an assist for the Vancouver Whitecaps. Only 31 professional appearances in all for the 22-year-old, as he earns his first Canadian cap tonight. Some routine here, through to Larea, and it's saved at the near post by Rouillard, who seemed to be anticipating a cross. Larea put it near post and nearly surprised the keeper. Look at this routine from the training ground. All sorts of misdirection, and a properly weighted ball through by Osorio. Leads to the second corner of the match now for Canada. Sun briefly peeked back through a few minutes ago, but it's back to cloud and back to a mist. Poilet punched away by Rouillard. Kept alive by Millar. Ahmed. Through from Hoylet, now Ahmed flashes it in, and 2 options in the middle. Cavallini and Miller both missed it. And eventually it's in the hands of Davy Rouillard. .22 minutes gone here at BMO Field in Toronto, Ontario. Still scoreless between Canada and Guadeloupe. Only just some golden opportunities for both sides already in this one. 4 shots, 3 on target for Guadeloupe. 2 shots, 1 on target for Canada. Feiton dragged down by Larea, and a free kick awarded to Guadeloupe. Feiton Played through to Ambrose. Ambrose in front, and it's in for Ambrose! Grade A chance a few moments ago was denied by Bourillon. This time he's not denied, and it's Guadalupe celebrating the opening goal. Played through to Ambrose here. Just got right by his man, Steven Vittoria. And then Bourillon, as he tried to push off his line, come out and contest. Watch him right here, he just slips. And Ambrose can put it through. A stunned reaction from the crowd here in Toronto. But to anybody who is familiar with this Guadeloupe roster and the way they've been progressing through Nations League and the way they dominate the Gold Cup prelims, this shouldn't be that much of a surprise. This is a very capable Guadeloupe side. And Ambrose has his 5th goal in his 11th cap. Canada looks to get it right back through Hoylett. Corner on the way. Rubiel Vasquez wants a word before the corner is delivered. Thierry Ambrose, the difference right now. Can Canada get it right back from the corner? It's slapped away by Rouillard. Dribbling into the pressure, dangerous. Miller plays it through, opportunity brewing for Canada to get it right back in front, bouncing around, still in, and finally cleared by Baron. Moise Bombito made a mess of it in the end in the box, the center back in his debut. Now Osorio. Hoylett, headed away by Gravillon. Osorio stumbles, has it. Moves it along to Hoylett. Chip through to Bombito. Hit it on the volley. Blocked by Gravillon. Bombito here beat the first man. Could have shot it there or there. Millar been lively on this left side through the first near half hour. Too much on it for Ahmed to get there, but he keeps it in. Ahmed, Lorea. Thierry Ambrose working back defensively to help here. Ball stayed in, taken by Bombito. And Osorio brought down. A free kick on the way for Canada. Intensity has certainly kicked up a couple of notches ever since Guadeloupe scored the goal. Perhaps reality setting in for Canada as to how difficult of a venture this may be this evening. Flipped ahead by Hoylett. Headed on by Miller. Almost misjudged by Rouillard. A little bit too close for comfort in the end. Still ends up on top of the netting. The keeper nonchalant. They'll say he had it read the whole way. But he was scrambling there at the end as he looked behind him. John Herdman looks on, searching for the answers. Guadalupe out shooting Canada 5-3. Possessions about 60-40 in Canada's favor. The goal 23 minutes in for Thierry Ambrose is the difference. Through the wind and rain, it has been on and off so far in Toronto. And here's how it happened. Played through to Ambrose. What a turn to get by Steven Vittoria. Dorian got the slightest touch to it after he had initially slipped off his line. To Vittoria. Bourrion and Miller. 3 shots on goal already for Guadalupe, and then the goal from Ambrose. He's had all of them. All their dangerous opportunities. Sent long to Tell. Jordan Tell runs onto it, now slows it down, waits for support. Forced it into Ambrose, had it intercepted. And now recovered by Canada. Half an hour into the happenings here in Toronto. It's Guadalupe leading 1-0 on a Thierry Ambrose goal. Canada hoping to get it back through Junior Hoylett. Sends it in, right at the keeper, Davy Rouillard. Only 29 professional appearances for the 23-year-old keeper Rouillard. 28 of those 29 have been with Bordeaux's B team. Only 1 with the first team in Coupe de France. Lena, a steadying veteran presence at the back for Guadalupe. Sprung long to Lorea. Drop back for McGraw. Hoylett gives it up for Osorio. Jonathan Osorio has nowhere to go, smothered by Medellina. Feital continues. Matthias Feitan, fronted by Zach McGraw. Feitan plays out of it to Johan Rodson. Now it's Gravillon. Mikhail Alphonse, the captain. Alphonse delivered. Bourrion punches away. There was some contact in the area. Guadalupe wanted a penalty kick to be given. Bourrion not necessarily spreading the love, just keeping LeBourne away from attacking one of his own guys. And VAR is part of the equation, don't forget. There was a lot of contact in there as LeBourne was brought down from behind by Vittoria. Doesn't mean we're going to have a check necessarily, but saw a similar call yesterday in Group C that allowed El Salvador to have a penalty after a VAR check against Martinique. Rubiel Vasquez holding up the play for now. And he gives the okay to restart. No need for a deeper check. Rodson. strongest spell of possession we've seen from Guadalupe in this first half. Brought across midfield by Johan Ronson. Alphonse. Back for Tell. Jordan Tell. He earns a corner. This will be the first corner of the match for Guadalupe. Jordan Laborn of Versailles 78 FC in France. And he's in the third tier of French football. Delivers a corner, top of the six, headed away by Cavallini. Played in again from Guadalupe, this time headed away by Victoria. Guadalupe continues to keep it in the attacking half, gathered by Feiton. Gravillon crashed into by Cavallini. Two guys going for a 50-50 ball, nothing malicious, but it was Cavallini who initiated it in his path toward Gravillon after he initially missed the ball. Ten minutes plus stoppage time to be played here in half number one. Baron gave it away. That was thrashed into the Canadian bench by Laborn. Bench took some issue with that. Cavallini dropping deeper from his number 9 position to help foster this attack. Now it's Osorio. 65th cap for Osorio, 8 goals, 8 assists in his international career. Debuted just over a decade ago for Canada, now finds Hoylett. Junior Hoylett thrashes one across the box. Osorio was waiting. It's headed still in the box by Guadalupe. Feiton looking to clear, and finally does. Millar. Run continued down the wing by Tell. And it's won cleanly by Osorio. Well, some applause for the crowd for that one. Ali Ahmed has had some bright moments here in his international debut. And Cavallini fouled Cedric Avinel. Kamal Miller was traded mid-season from Montreal to Miami in MLS. Last year an all-star in the league. McGraw hasn't had much to do so far in his international debut. And now Bombito. Feiton has nowhere to go. Larea wins it. Ahmed calling for it. Larea obliges. Deflected on the cross. And Avinel gets there in time. It's out for a corner. Fourth corner now coming for Canada. Some have been more dangerous than others so far. Hoylett chips it, back of the box. Settled down now by McGraw. Waited too long. Over the top from Osorio. McGraw did all he could. Snuck in between Baron and Avinel, and it's one right off the goal kick by Canada. Guadalupe doing a good job defensively, packing things densely, and not affording Canada with any easy looks through the channels. Ahmed. Lorea. Through for Cavallini. Avinel there in time. The ebbs and flows of this game have seen Guadeloupe struggle sometimes under the pressure of Canada, but then release like this on the counter. Ambrose to his left here. Ambrose back to his right, keeps his run going with one goal already, but now forced away by Kamal Miller. Just every time the ball comes his way, you expect him to do something spectacular through this first 40 minutes. Here he is again. Now LeBourne. Goal kick coming. Ahmed. 5 to play plus stoppage time here in half number 1. Ambrose's tally in the 23rd minute is the difference right now. Hoylett. Millar. Liam Millar forces it back. Chance here for Hoylett, put wide. Saw that pocket of space, picked up the head, but sliced it. Oh, he's going wide. Junior Hoylett, 14 goals, 16 assists. In his 55 appearances for Canada after his debut back in 2015. In his 4th straight Gold Cup, he has 5 goals and 4 assists in his 11 starts. Impressive tallies from Hoylett. Ahmed taken down. Plays quickly. Osorio. Millar. Liam Millar drives one into the ground. Remember, it's a slick surface because of the rain. Was hoping for a more favorable skip than that to test Davy Rouillard. Offside flag came up on Guadalupe. Every time Canada has a free kick, be it a goal kick, an offside kick, or a free kick, they're trying to take it as quickly as possible. You wonder if it's something they have scouted in Guadeloupe. Perhaps they struggle to get organized quickly because every single opportunity to restart from a dead ball, they have looked to go quickly, Canada. Even the throw-ins. McGraw. Steps up into space. Cavallini back to goal, lost it, and commits the foul on Gravelon. And that should bring us to our first card of the match. It will. Gravillon has been fouled a few times now. And Cavallini has been involved in a couple of them. It was one time too many, and he's the first name in the book. Gravillon now making his 9th straight appearance for Guadeloupe. 6 of those starts. He scored a goal in the preliminary win against Guyana. Was loaned to Torino back in January. Made 7 appearances, 4 starts down the stretch of the Serie A season. On loan from Stade de Reims in France. First-tier team in France. Curious to see if he'll remain on loan this year in Italy or be recalled to begin his first division career, or rather restart his first division career in France. 25-year-old has over 200 professional appearances already. And a good chunk of those have come in Ligue 1 in France, 65 of them. Oh, waiting for somebody to take charge of it, and Gravillon commits the foul. Ahead to Millar. Cleared away by Mikhail Alphonse. Just 1 minute of stoppage time here in half number 1. Set too long for Larea. Once again, another look forward for Canada, where the pass just was not where it needed to be. Frustrations may be mounting as they look to play more direct. 7 shots, just 3 of those on target for Canada. 5 shots, 4 on target for Guadalupe, including the goal by Thierry Ambrose back in the 23rd minute. It's looking like they'll carry that 1-0 lead into the halftime break. Whistle coming any second now from Rubio Vasquez. And there it is. So after Martinique surprised El Salvador yesterday as one of the teams to come through the preliminary phase and a victory in the group stage, is the same on its way to happening here for Guadalupe. A 1-0 lead into the half, thanks to that man right there as he heads off the field. Thierry Ambrose in the 23rd minute. It's Guadalupe up 1-0 on Canada in Toronto. More to come here in the 2023 Concacaf Gold Cup. Underway in half number 2. Canada has won its opening match in 3 straight Gold Cups. That is in jeopardy here as they trail as we begin this second half. Thierry Ambrose in the 23rd minute is the difference right now. Here is Ambrose. Cutting in field. Gives it up to Gravillon. Hoylett releases to Cavallini. Back to Hoylett. Junior Hoylett continues his run through traffic. Taken down. Penalty! Less than a minute into the second half. Canada has a chance from 12 yards out to level the score. Split the 2 defenders. A little bit of contact, upper body, went down very easily. Don't know that it's clear and obvious to overturn, but it will be checked. You get into such a gray area here, of course, and the yellow card is issued to Alphonse. It's tough sometimes. How much contact is enough contact? As Hoylett tried to force his way through. Any way you slice it, for now, penalty's been given, and Canada has a chance to equalize, but they will go and check it. It's not up to me. If it were, this would be overturned. There was not a lot of contact there. Hoylett went down at the first sign of any touch on his chest. It's up to Rubiel Vasquez now. Could also be looking if this contact happened outside the box and not inside. Look where his feet are when the contact is initiated right there. He hadn't yet come into the box. He fell into it, certainly. So 2 things here, checking A, if it's a penalty period with the contact, or B, if it's outside the box, not inside the box. And after the check, Vasquez takes away the yellow card from Alphonse. So he's overturned it here as far as the yellow card. I believe the call itself has been overturned. Yes, decision, no penalty. VAR does its job. There is contact, but it's minimal right there. As soon as he feels the right arm of Alphonse on his left breast, he goes down immediately without much contact. So for a moment, it seemed like Canada would have the lifeline of a penalty to begin this second half and change the dynamic. Taken away by VAR, the right call, no doubt about it. Cavallini muscles off his defender, looks ahead to Hoylett. Here he comes again. Junior Hoylett chips it back to Cavallini! Equalizer for Canada! Cavallini, now 19 times for his country, has done the job, and we're level in Toronto. Who needs the penalty? About a minute after the VAR decision overturned the penalty, Canada scores anyway. What a ball it was from Hoylett. To spy that run of Cavallini, to curl it with the outside of his boot. It's his 17th career assist for Canada. And for Cavallini, again, his 19th goal for Canada. This Canadian side has come out roaring in half number 2. Can Guadalupe weather that storm? Feels as if Canada may be on the brink of a breakthrough in a big way. Will the dam burst for Guadalupe? After losing the Nations League final less than 2 weeks ago to the United States, and all the news reports that have been swirling around the Canadian Soccer Federation, perhaps filing for bankruptcy, having some monetary issues. Just a lot of noise around right now to potentially distract these players on the field from accomplishing the task at hand, which is success in the Gold Cup. If you would have doubled down on all of that with a disappointing result in the opener here against Guadalupe, then things perhaps could have festered to an even greater degree. But this response from Canada in the second half has been outstanding so far. Looking for more. Osorio had it blocked. Millar wins it back with the applause of the crowd. Kamal Miller carries forward. Through to Osorio. Jonathan Osorio, end line back to Miller. It falls through off the chest of Ahmed, who somehow kept his balance and got back to his feet. To keep this possession alive, Ahmed still taken down, and a free kick on the way for Canada. This does not look like the same Canadian team we saw through the first 45. Whatever John Herdman said at the break, bottle that up and sell it. Cavallini, Hoylett, Lorea, all over for a look right now. From this spot, I think it'd be better for a left-footed try from Cavallini than a right-footed try from Hoylett. Waiting for the okay from Rubiel Vasquez. There is the whistle. Hoylett and Cavallini. It's Cavallini over the bar. So difficult from so close to the 18 like that to get it over the wall but still under the bar. It would have been to give Canada a lead because of this moment that gave them the leveling goal. Hoylett to Cavallini. And here is Cavallini again. Taken by Osorio. Through to Hoylett. Taken a bit too wide after that initial touch. Hoylett to Cavallini and saved by Rouillard. Guadalupe has hardly seen the ball in the second half. Possession has been squarely on Canada's side in half number 2. Looking ahead to Ambrose, but given right back to Canada. Kamal Miller. Canada ranked 47th in the FIFA World Rankings, ranked 4th in Concacaf, making their 12th Gold Cup appearance in a row. Their best finish came in 2000 when they lifted the trophy. Hoylett attacks the back line. Hoylett had it blocked. Osorio keeps it alive with the deflection. Lorea back for Ahmed on the ground and blocked again, this time by Avinel. Contact edge of the area. Ahmed went down. Peyton is there as well. cross from Moylet, took a deflection actually off of Menilina. Cavallini did well to rise above his defender Avenel. This is smart from Anthony Baron. Just taking a moment to take the sting out of this one a little bit here for Guadalupe. A little gamesmanship perhaps. The crowd doesn't like it. He's back to his feet, never needed the attention of the trainers. What a wise move from Baron. Just put a stop to the momentum of Canada, at least momentarily, because through 10 minutes of this second half, it has been one-way traffic in Canada's favor. About a half an hour away from kickoff between Cuba and Guatemala. So you'll be able to go from the end of this game right to the beginning of that game after missing maybe a few minutes, as we end our first go-through of the group stage. After that game is played later tonight, we return to the happenings in Group A tomorrow here in the Gold Cup. Baron to Feitan. Tail on the turn, opens wide and finds Alphonse. Baron through for Ambrose. He's at his best when he's all the way up atop the line, but he's dropping deep here just to get some touches because the service has not been finding him really since the half-hour mark of this match. Had those two early chances, including the goal, and none since. Here's Ambrose. Overlap there from Alphonse. The captain hesitates, takes it past Osorio, cuts it back, finds Ambrose. Thierry Ambrose back to his right foot, looking for a goal, puts it wide. Every single time he's had the ball in and around the 18, it has led to a moment like that for Guadalupe. And it didn't miss by a whole lot. You get the sense that if they are going to pull ahead again, completely against the grain of play here, as Canada has dominated this second half so far, it's going to have to be something like that from Ambrose. Here's Feitan. Into the area now, Feitan on his right foot, lays it off for Gravillon. Too much on it as he looked ahead to Rodson, kept alive now by Alphonse. On the ground, a weird one. Took a deflection on the way through, and Borjan now looks to clear quickly. Sent out toward Cavallini and dealt with on the back line by Avenel. Feitan. Flips it over the top, looking for Jordan Tell. Thierry Ambrose picks it up on his right foot. Ambrose, good tackle put in by Miller. Kept alive by Gravillon, touched around the post by Borjan. Good quick decision from Gravillon to just get it goalward. Tough to tell if that one might have snuck in at that far post. Borjan not taking any chances at a corner on the way for Guadalupe as we tick toward the hour mark. curled in. Bourillon misread it. He came in too close on it. Had to just slap it away. He judged it better. Could have just caught it. No matter. Canada breaks away with it. Here's Millar. The Cavalry is with him. Millar to the back post looking for Cavallini. Now it's Ambrose. Game opening up here. Alphonse takes it. 3v4. Canada has the numbers defensively. Almost no matter. Because somehow, some way, as he was falling down, LeBourne got his foot to it. Tried the scorpion flick to the back post. Tempers flaring a little bit here between Feiton and Lorea. Yellow card in hand for Rubio Vasquez. It will be given to Feiton.
Yellow card, Guadalupe, number 10, Matthias Feiton.
Played through toward Ahmed. Miller looks over his shoulder, pressured by Ambrose. And Ambrose does well to put it off of Miller. He has been the brightest star of this match for either side so far, Thierry Ambrose. 26-year-old again plays with KV Oostende in Belgium. Now Canada is readying a trio of changes. Back for Rouillard. Changes impact this one for Canada. Been on the front foot most of this second half, including scoring the goal. Here come the changes. Vito's night is done. He will be relieved of his duties by Liam Fraser. Like-for-like swap of the center backs. Fraser earns his 16th cap. He was there at the World Cup on the bench, did not make an appearance. Jacob Schaffelberg comes on for Liam Millar. His 5th cap, Schaffelberg. He's been excellent this season in MLS with Nashville. And Hoylet's night is done, replaced by Charles Brim. Earning his 9th cap, he has 1 goal. The 24-year-old plays in the Netherlands with FC Eindhoven.
Leading the match, replaced by number 19, Charles Brim. Entering the match, number 13, Jacob.
Sent in long to Ambrose. Camped in at the end line, flashes into the center of the box. Nobody there in the red jersey. Ahmed looks to break free. He's taken down by Gravelon. Gravelon will pick up a yellow. Miller. Schaffelberg on his horse down the left side, but the ball sails. So you get the fresh legs of Schaffelberg in as a like for Millar. You get Liam Fraser in the midfield for Bombito, a like for like. Bombito had a solid debut here for Canada. And then Junior Hoylett had the assist on the goal. You get the fresh legs of Charles Brim. All changes like for like. We'll see what they bring to the table for Canada now. Guadalupe yet to make a change. Canada has 2 remaining. All 5 still at the disposal of Guadalupe. Matthias Feital latches onto it. Looking to turn the corner on Lorea. And it's out for a goal kick. Changes being ready now for Guadeloupe. Nathaniel Santini is one of them. The other, Ange Ploumon. Guadeloupe settling things down with some possession. Into Baron, back for Rouillard. And swung out to Medellina. Ambrose just out of his reach. For Guadeloupe to come on the road against Canada in Toronto. Even to salvage a point out of this after weathering the storm of Canada in the early portion of this second half, after they scored that goal. It would feel like a boon for the visitors. Feital continues to muscle his way through the midfield. Brim wins it for Canada. Charles Brim dashes ahead as Ahmed wide. Ahmed lays it back for Zach McGraw. To Ahmed, and inside now to Fraser. Jonathan Osorio finds Cavallini in space. Cavallini on his left foot hesitates, chips it through, looking for the handball. Ambrose taken down by Miller. Here come those changes. Santini and Ploumon on for Labourne and Tell. Three changes will remain for Guadeloupe. 2 still remain for Canada.
Double substitution for Guadeloupe, leaving the match number 11, Jordan Tell, and number 15, Jordan Labourne, replaced by number 5, Nathaniel Santini, and number 8, Ange Ploumon.
All the way back to Bourillon. It's a quiet second half for the most part. Just had that one, he had the touch around the post from Gravillon. Lorea. Ahmed busting up and down that right side as he has all evening long. Tireless work continues. Ahmed looking through, brought down by Lorea, and it's over the line for an own goal. A bit of terrible luck for Guadeloupe, and it's Canada ahead 2-1. Lorea caused the confusion. Dangerous ball put through, and it came off Medellina. gut-wrenching stuff for Guadalupe as they battled their way back into this game after Canada had control. John Herdman will take it any way it comes. Canada 2, Guadalupe 1. Guadalupe find a way now. Game planning for a matchup like this. You hope you can get one early. Takes off some of the pressure. They did just that, but now they're chasing and will have to open up. And does that mean more will come for Canada? There's Santini. Wins it from Schaffelberg. Still Santini. I'm going to go with it, except for out wide to Alphonse. Osorio to Schaffelberg. Grimm brings it back from Miller. Ahmed. Back and through that Cavallini couldn't get to. But now everything has changed. We played from the 23rd minute to the 49th minute with a halftime break in between, with Guadalupe in the lead 1-0. We played 21 minutes from Cavallini's goal until the Lina own goal, where it was 1-1 and could have gone either way. Guadalupe actually had a couple of chances against the grain to pull back ahead. Orion made a big save. And then the bit of bad luck for Lina as it comes in off his leg for the own goal. Over a quarter of an hour remains, plus whatever stoppage time has in store. Canada 2, Guadeloupe 1, here in their opening match of Group D play in the 2023 Concacaf Gold Cup. Schaffelberg sends it back. Post Cavallini was lurking. Not out of the woods yet, Guadalupe. It's off the chest of Fraser. Now Ali Ahmed. Back to Fraser. Chipped in toward Cavallini, headed away. Only as far as Larea over the bar. Canada wants to put this one away and find that insurance goal. Come on, Miller. Sends it long, not too long. Happy to have had you along this evening. Joe Malfa with you from BMO Field in Toronto, Ontario. Canada has the leg up now on Guadalupe after early on it seemed like they might be stunned on their own home ground. Cuba and Guatemala round out Group D. Kickoff there scheduled for about 10 minutes from now. And taking place in South Florida at Dry Pink Stadium in Fort Lauderdale. As we move forward in Group D beyond tonight. Just played over the top toward Ambrose, who commits the foul. We'll have Canada taking on Guatemala on the second match day of Group D. And Guadalupe taking on Cuba. Another look at how Canada took this lead. Sometimes it's just your day, and sometimes it's not. For Canada, lucky day. For Guadalupe, not their day. With a ball like that. Schaffelberg commits the foul. Back to Ruyar. It's a bit of a catch-22 right now for Guadalupe, especially being in the first match of group play. Do you open up and push for that equalizing goal and secure what would be an outstanding point from this one? Or do you just play the way you've been playing for about 75 minutes, hope you can get one on the counter, and at the very least preserve a -1 goal differential, because that very well may be the deciding factor as this group goes along. Guadalupe will face a familiar foe in Cuba. In this last edition of Nations League, they were grouped in with Cuba, Barbados, and Antigua and Barbuda. Lost both games to Antigua and Barbuda, but avenged it with a 5-0 win in the Gold Cup preliminary phase, as Cavallini takes it out of play. They split their results in the Nations League, Guadalupe, with Cuba. Some familiarity with their next opponent. Looking ahead beyond just the Gold Cup for Guadalupe as Canada prepares another sub. They are in League B, Group A of the upcoming edition of Nations League, which gets underway in September. Grouped in with St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and Sint Maarten. They were one of the Pot 1 teams, Guadalupe, in this newly formatted Nations League. Have to fancy their chances to win that group and get promoted to League A for the following edition, especially if they play the way they've seen them play as late. Canada, on the other hand, after their 2 more remaining games currently scheduled for this Gold Cup, plus whatever is in store in the knockout stage potentially, there's nothing ahead. No friendly scheduled. They have no games coming up in Nations League because they're one of the 4 teams who earned a bye into the quarterfinal by virtue of their Concacaf ranking. The other 3 being Costa Rica, Mexico, and the United States. Of course, the rumors swirling about the state of affairs for Canadian soccer. Will they or won't they schedule friendlies? Will they or won't they file for bankruptcy? It's a lot going on right now outside of these lines, but inside these lines, they have a 2-1 lead with 10 minutes plus stoppage time to play here on their home ground against Guadalupe in their group opener. Can they find one more for insurance? Brim charges ahead. Looking through for Cavallini with 1 goal already tonight. Ruyar fights it off, and it's cleared. Jason Russell-Rowe will come on now for Lucas Cavallini, who leaves with a goal to his name. It was the one that leveled things, that 1 goal apiece. So he leaves in his 37th cap with 19 goals. And they're hoping, these Canadians, that the man who replaced him could be the next in line. Jason Russell-Rowe making his Canadian debut. Rowe of the Columbus Crew in Major League Soccer. Before that, a product of the University of Maryland, along with teammate and backup goalkeeper Wayne St. Clair for this Canadian side. Russell Rowe was the MVP of MLS Next Pro last year, 3rd Division football in the United States. Second team affiliates of the MLS clubs. Lorea fights through the contact, gets it out to Ahmed. Ali Ahmed, patient, back to his right foot, and puts it over everything. Ambrose puts it beyond sloppily. Johan Rutsen gets kept alive. Santini. Rutsen tried to get it back to Santini. Two more changes being prepared now for Guadalupe. Alphonse puts it beyond Ambrose to Phaeton. Now here's Ambrose. Santini turns the corner on Schaffelberg. Gravillon will recover. As his cross attempt blocked by Ahmed. Of the 3 debutants in this match for Canada, Moise Bombito, Zach McGraw, Ali Ahmed. I have to say, Ahmed has shown the brightest. Now it's Charles Brim to maybe end this one for Canada. Brim. A skyward clearance attempt. Come those changes for Guadalupe. Quentin Annette enters for Andrew Gravillon, who had a terrific game in the midfield for Guadalupe. Matthias Phaeton exits for Luther Archimed. One of the Guadalupe-based players for Guadalupe. Luther Archimed based in the United States with Sacramento Republic on the USL Championship. Canada has gotten all it could handle from Guadalupe tonight, maybe more than they expected. They are just 5 minutes plus stoppage time away from getting out of Dodge with all 3 points tonight. And could that be just what they need to steer them in the right direction as they navigate the rest of the group stage, first against Guatemala, then against Cuba? Canadian side hoping for a return to glory in this tournament. They lifted the trophy back in 2000. Since then, they've made 3 semifinals, 02, 07, and 21. 2 years ago, they lost in the semifinal against Mexico in heartbreaking fashion. Played in by Plumon, and a foul easily called against Archimede for that two-handed shove in the box. Victoria defending. Archimede sends him to ground. It was heartbreaking for Canada back in the semifinal in 2021. 1-1 scoreline, seemingly on the way to an extra half hour against Mexico. And then Hector Herrera scored 90 plus 9 to send Mexico to the final, where they ultimately fell against the United States. Canada contested for the Nations League crown from 2 weeks ago against the United States. That was their chance at a first trophy since 2000. First final they played in within Concacaf since then. And what is perceived as a golden generation right now for Canada. It is yet to produce a trophy. It has produced a #1 finish in Concacaf World Cup qualifying as they dominated the group stage. Dangerous one back to Borjan. Victoria immediately apologizes. Borjan slices his clearance attempt. Ambrose looking to turn, and he commits the foul, bringing Zach McGraw to ground. A nervy moment there at the back for Canada as they're trying to end this one with all 3 points. Getting to that World Cup in Qatar was a big moment for Canada. It was their first World Cup since 1986 and just their second World Cup all time. They didn't fare as well as they had hoped. They lost 1-0 to Belgium in the opener, one of the top-ranked teams in the world. They fell to Croatia 4-1 and Morocco 2-1. But no slouches there in Croatia or Morocco. Both of those nations made it all the way through to the semifinal before they ultimately squared off in the third place game, a win for Croatia. So it was one of the more difficult groups to navigate in the entirety of the tournament in Qatar. They hoped for more, but again, just getting there was a sign that this Canadian national team has been revived. And maybe rocky roads ahead with some of the affairs of the higher-ups and the situation hanging over this program. Financially, that is. But on the field, blocking out that noise, they continue to produce results. And maybe on the brink of another here. Domineering performance in the semifinal against Panama, a 2-0 victory in Nations League a couple of weeks ago. Before that 2-0 loss to the United States in the final. Alphonse, is there one last opportunity in this for Guadalupe to stun the crowd with an equalizer? Hasn't really felt that way for the last 10-15 minutes. That'll be all for Richie Larea. Sator comes on. Won't get credit for it, but his run into the 18, pressuring center back Medellina, is what led to the own goal in the 70th minute, which could prove to be the winner. For Dominic Zator, this is his debut. Earned his first call-up in 2019, earns that first cap tonight. Between Jason Russell-Rowe and Dominic Zator off the bench, and a trio of starters in Moise Bombito, Zach McGraw, and Ali Ahmed. 5 debutants tonight for Canada. And there you see 5 minutes added on here in this second half. I wonder how different things may have been for Guadalupe if this were match day 2 or 3 in the group stage. as opposed to match day 1 as Schaffelberg is brought down. I mentioned it before, but being that it's just match day 1, yes, you want to open up and find that equalizer and earn a hard-fought point. But if it comes at the expense of leaving yourself vulnerable and conceding more, puts you in a bad spot with the goal differential, which might come into play. You look to another team in Concacaf who experienced that in a different tournament, Costa Rica, at this most recent World Cup. A nightmare against Spain in the opener. They lost 7-0. And that ultimately was part of their downfall in the group come the last day. They might have found their way into the round of 16 at the World Cup, if not for that burdensome goal difference generated by a poor initial performance. So for Guadalupe, it was that educated gamble, or lack thereof, from Jocelyn Angloma, who after they went down 2-1, changed nothing. Did not open up further, pushed the envelope, just kept playing it the way they had been all match long. Russell Rowe holds it up in the corner. Still barely stays in, now taken away by Lena. Some room to run for Archimed. Looking to get past Vittoria, he's taken down. And a free kick on the way for Guadalupe. Yellow card will be shown as well to Steven Vittoria. Not out of the woods yet, Canada. Through the 5 minutes given, Johan Ronson positions it. Might this be the last opportunity here on a set piece for Guadalupe to find this elusive equalizer and stun and silence this crowd once again. Ronson, it's loose for Ambrose on the ground in front and over the line. Guadalupe levels it. They all mob over to Ambrose. Did he get the last touch? They won't care as long as it went over the line, and it did. It was never touched again. Reciprocating the own goal, Canada. Russell Rowe lunged in to try and stop it, put it into his own net. Medellina, an own goal in the 70th minute, put Canada up 2-1. Jason Russell Rowe, an own goal in the 93rd minute, levels things at 2. Cedric Avenel, the center back, just let it over the line on its own. Canada wanted a VAR check, stating that Avenel was offside when that shot came. And his presence, perhaps, is what led Russell Rowe to try and make that play in the first place. There's an argument to be had that this should be offside. And maybe save the 3 points for Canada. No, goal given. And the crowd falls into a stunned silence. Will it be raptures once again in just a moment if Canada can now find a winner? After that stoppage we had, we imagine that we'll have to go beyond the 5-minute mark now, but this could be the last chance for Canada to wrestle back the 3 points. Osorio through to Jason Russell Rowe, in front, saved by Ruyar, corner coming. Nobody wanted that more than Jason Russell Rowe. It was his own goal that tied the game. One last chance, perhaps, for Canada to restore the lead and the 3 points. Corner floated in, headed away. There's the final whistle. A draw that will feel like a loss for Canada and a victory for Guadeloupe. 2 goals each, an own goal each, and a point each at the end of the night here at BMO Field in their Group D opener of the 2023 Concacaf Gold Cup.